Hey there, welcome back to my video log series. This series is part of the real estate advice. So I want to go over single agency and dual agency and what those two are. Oftentimes there are buyers who want to, only work with a listing agent. I recommend highly kind of against it. The reason being is because dual agency, which is representing both parties, you're representing the seller, you're representing the buyer. Okay, as a dual agent, you really can't negotiate prices, you can't negotiate terms. You have a duty that protects both parties, and you're kind of in the middle of it. And a lot of agents don't want to do that, so a lot of agents will refer you to somebody inside the brokerage, which is still kind of a dual agency, but this allows you to have a different realtor who can negotiate for you, and we call that a single agency. So if you have an agent who, say myself, I represent a buyer, I am going and I am working for my buyer, we get to listing, and say it's a totally different brokerage. I am what's called a single agency, so I'm able to help you negotiate that price and able to help you do the due diligence of finding that property, finding out what's wrong with that property, seeing if I see anything, recommending home inspectors that are reputable companies, recommending lenders. In this market, we all know that you need to have a lender right off the bat, so it's important to have a lender and know what your lender can do. Certain lenders don't lend to loans, things like that. So a single agent really needs to be somebody you trust, really needs to be somebody knowledgeable of the area. And then, dual agencies, they're not impossible, they're not horrible, they are a good representation of, kind of what a transaction agent is. A transaction agent essentially is just somebody who handles the paperwork, handling the process and walking through it, but literally very little communication, between those two parties, allowing those parties to negotiate themselves. That dual agency, it can be really tricky. You can get into that legal process pretty quickly if you're not, prepared to do that. There are actually agents out there who refuse to do listings. They're working as a buyer's agent only, and they're exclusive buyer's agent or an exclusive seller's agent, where they will only work with listings. And that's the benefits of those. I think there's also pros and cons. So of those, cons is obviously if you're a listing exclusive selling agent, you can't do your buyers. If you're an exclusive buyer agent, you cannot go find sellers. What you can do it, refer them out to your seller's agent. So the nice thing about Red One is we don't have that distinction unless you want it to your personal self. But we do have a bunch of agents who we refer out to. If we have a listing that we're selling and we know that one of our agents in our team or one of our agents in our brokerage are nearby and really good representation, a lot of times we'll call them up and say, hey, I got a buyer who wants to buy this property, but I don't want to be in dual agency. Would you be willing to take this client on? Sometimes we ask for referral fees, sometimes we don't. It just depends on situation and each individual realtors. So remember, when you're calling for a listing agent, remember that listing agent is not going to be able to negotiate a price for you. You're going to have to know the prices you want to come with. You're going to have to know the terms, what those are. They can't explain what terms are and what those terms do, but they cannot say, oh, I think you should waive inspection because I've looked at the home, I'm selling the home. I know my seller would take way less. Or they would take $155,000 on a $160,000 house, or we have multiple offers, and this offer is $160,000, and we think you should come in at 165 or 162. You'll get it. It's important because let's be honest. If you do that, you're breaking the law. Unless there are exceptions forced to it. There are sellers out there who are like, disclose what my offers are. I want the highest and best. I want everybody to know what all my offers are. So it's possible too. But really look out for yourself. If you have any questions, you have any answers, or you need answers, please reach out. You can look me up. Any of our brokers. Find somebody that you trust. Find an agent that's going to work for you. If your agent is not consistently sending you properties, is not consistently working with you, helping you find the best lender, helping you find the best properties in the area, then please look for an agent who does. Okay? As a single agency, these people take on several buyers. Find them, ask them, hey, how many buyers are you working with currently? How much time are you going to devote to me? And that's kind of one of those things. If you want to set up on search, I always say every single one of my people want to search, and the reason being is because that allows me to be able to constantly be searching. My system is constantly 100% of the time at 2 a.m. If a listing hits the market, it's getting sent right to their email. Boom, hit. Okay, so that's a big important thing to remember. Again, as a listing agent, ask your listing agent, say, hey, how much is my commission? They should be going over that with you, period. And you have to sign in that contract. There's a spot in there that tells you what that commission is. What's the split? How are you split? Are you sharing that commission? How much are you sharing it with a buyer? And those are important terms because, some buyer's agents really, kind of steer away from some properties, and it's kind of not, So I just recommend really doing your research, really asking around, look at some past sales, ask the people, hey, how much success have you had this year? How much success have you had last year? Ask for some reviews, ask how many clients they have. You know, hey, do you have 20 clients? So you have 20 clients. How are you devoting that all your time? You know, there's 24 hours in a day. How are you devoting your day to all your clients? You know, and how long is it going to take you? Or how busy are you? Are you constantly running? You know, or if there's a house that pops up on the market and I want to see it that same day, how are you able to show it to me? Okay, so remember, single agency, one person representing one party. All right, negotiation abilities. All right, they're able to negotiate prices, negotiate terms, and they're able to work for you. All right. Dual agency, not able to negotiate, should not be giving suggestions on price or terms. Should simply be giving you a clean cut, picture of what each term is, what it means, how it can affect, and price point of what is a fair market value price offer wise. But really, they can't negotiate anything, that's going to break a confidentiality. So hang in there. If you haven't found a place and you've been looking forever, hang in there.